Good afternoon, good afternoon. My name is Chevelle Savage, and I serve on the board of directors for OutCT, as well as the Education Committee Chairperson. This is Who's in the Neighborhood, episode 7, and today we're going to be talking with Minna Murphy of Zeni Beauty. Minna, I'm so excited to have you. Listen, we're just going to jump right in if that's all right with you.
That's perfect. Thanks so much for inviting me. I'm excited to be a part of this program.
Yes, we are excited to have you. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Minna, and how did you end up in southeastern Connecticut?
Well, I'm born and raised in New York City, so I'm a New York City girl.
Okay.
I ended up in Connecticut about 7 years ago. My eldest daughter moved here, and I followed her, and then the youngest daughter moved here. So we're all here now. So we're all in Connecticut now.
Okay, all right. So tell me about your business and Zeni Beauty. What does the name Zeni Beauty mean? How did you get to that? And how long have you been in the business? Is this new or?
Oh boy, I have been doing makeup in one way or another. I want to say about 30 years now.
Wow.
At least 30 years. And if I'm really honest, I always had a passion for it. I knew as a little girl I wanted to be involved in makeup. Back then there was no internet. So you couldn't just Google careers, go to the library and go through all of that. And by the time I realized that my real passion for makeup wasn't necessarily the artistry, but it was the creation. It was kind of too, I was already married and with a baby on the way, and life was just different. But I always had a passion for it. So I've been doing makeup. I started off as a makeup artist.
Okay.
Doing film and video makeup. Doing
do we know any of the people that you actually have put together?
A few people.
You can't say because of confidentiality. All right. Well, listen, y'all. She got receipts.
I got proof and pictures and receipts. I got that. No questions about that. But I didn't get their permission to use their name, so we talk about that separate.
I understand.
So I started off as a makeup artist and doing film and video makeup, catalog work. And what happened is I would be on the set, and usually I worked for one company for I want to say 8 or 9 years, and pretty much they chose me because I could hit every shade. So from the lightest to the darkest, and I got work consistently because of that. And it got to a point where we're talking about early 2000s, and the ranges of makeup was not what it is today. Everyone's got 40 colors for 40 shades. Well, that did not exist. Okay. So I started kind of mixing it on set. And when I started mixing it on set, I had the actors and actresses say, I want that. What you just made, I want that. And that kind of fueled my idea that, maybe I should kind of dabble in custom blending. So I started custom blending, and I would do that on set. And then I kind of did some freelance work with various companies, and I kind of learned more and more. And before I knew it, I was doing all custom blend foundation, and it kind of grew from there.
Wow.
So Zeni Beauty in its current form is only about 2 years old.
Okay.
Before it was Makeup Mixology. Then I changed the name to the Makeup Mix Cosmetic Company because I kind of separated the two entities. It was one company, and I realized that the brand needed to have its own life.
Okay.
And what I do as far as manufacturing needed to have a separate life, because if I decided to do contract manufacturing, which I'm always asked to do contract manufacturing or grow in a different way, I didn't want there to be a conflict of interest, so I separated the two entities. And as a result, Zeni Beauty now has all the products that Makeup Mixology had. It's Zeni Beauty, and then I've taken it and just kind of made it that much more. So that's how.
Wow.
But as far as the name, Zeni Beauty, Zeni is part of the name Zara Zeni, which in the Czech language means inclusion. And I sat with a girlfriend and we were brainstorming what do I want to call this, and she asked me, she said, what does it mean? What's important to you? And I said, inclusion is important to me because I know what it's like to be on the outside. I know what it's like to be that girl who's a little bit too brown. And all the stigma that goes with that. And I felt that I wanted something that made everyone feel that they were a part of. I think we've got a lot of great brands in the world today, but it still feels like a little bit out there because they're celebrities, and then there's no one who's just like me.
Exactly.
The girl next door, does not a celebrity, but still wants to look her best. And I've had male clients, female clients. Again, it's the same the theme is the same. We all want to look our best. We want to feel our best. And, you know, when you work in this industry as many years as I have, you realize that actors and actresses and celebrities, they're just like us. I've dealt with quite a few. And the level of insecurity, the drama and issues, in fact, they have a harder life than we think they do. You know, if you had to imagine what it's like to wake up every day and everything you do is under the spotlight.
Yeah,
you can't scratch wrong. You know, you just can't
escape. Absolutely.
Not at all. You know, and so their life, everything is under a magnifying glass. So they get a pimple, they're freaking out. You know, whereas we get a pimple, like, well, put some concealer on that child. You know, or not.
Exactly.
You know, we can do that. They can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, so I realized that I kind of wanted a brand that made the everyday person feel that they can be their best. And that focuses on that versus making you feel like, well, if I don't do this, I won't look like someone else. And that's kind of where it all started.
So a couple of things. Thank you for that background and letting our viewers know why you started Zeni Beauty and why it's so important to you. A couple of things that you brought up I want to highlight. You mentioned one thing is that I know how it is not to have makeup for me. Right? And that you also said that when you first created and started doing the custom blending and things of that nature, it was because you didn't see makeup that actually matched our shade, right? And because as black and brown people, we come in all these beautiful, wonderful shades. And so some of the makeup, for what I'm hearing, is that the makeup that was on the market is not necessarily sometimes for our skin tone.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, can you say a little bit more about that?
Yes, when you think about the commercial brands, they've taken the lighter shades of foundation and just darkened it with brown. Not necessarily taking into consideration the undertone. So we have a lot of us who are black and brown who are Caribbean in our heritage, which Caribbeans are mixed with Indian. There's Indian and Caribbean, and so they're olive undertone. You know, and then you have others of us who are from this country and there's the mixture and they're more red undertone. And if you notice, especially in the other brands, the brands going back a couple of years, the browns were red browns. So if you were a yellow brown, I didn't say it. That's what you say. I'll let you say it.
I can say fashion.
You can say it. You know,
they ain't in business no more.
Oh, right. Exactly. You know, so it was a red brown. So if you were yellow brown, you were red from here to here, and you were yellow from here to here. That's the problem. And then they said, okay, well, that doesn't really work. So you had brands who went to the other spectrum. So all the browns were yellow brown. Well, the girl that's in between yellow and red, okay, what does she do? Or the one who's red, okay, what does she do? Because now they're all yellow. So with Zeni Beauty, what I do, and my daughters and I own the company, what we do is, you know, I will create a color. If you need olive, then I've got olive. But if your olive is an olive that's just a little more yellow olive versus a true olive, then we can create just that variation just for you. And that's kind of what we're beginning to really focus on is the customization, the ability to be able to customize the color, and you'll always have your exclusive formula forever. But yes, the variations in the tones, the different shades of yellow. You know, you've probably seen some of the newer brands where it's a beautiful tan, but it's orangey tan. And I kind of look at it and I'm like, who formulated that? But you have to understand how our skin works in order to understand how you tweak it.
Exactly. But also, too, it's a formulation of people that don't look like us. So it seems like the majority of the makeup distribution industry are owned by men.
Yes.
And then on top of that, they don't have any resemblance of what that looks like to have different skin tones in front of them, right? So, viewers, I will give you a little bit of insight is that I have been wearing Zeni Beauty makeup for 17, 16 years when it was makeup mix. So what I wear now is Zeni Beauty and have been wearing it for quite some time. But I will say is that I noticed from the time in which you went from the custom mineral blending to the actual makeup, and look at all of these beautiful, oh my gosh, just how you've grown, all of these beautiful products. What was your inspiration? I heard you mention something about that it's a family-owned business.
Yes.
So tell our viewers about that and why that's important for you.
Okay. the brand grew, one of the original, outside of, doing makeup for film and video and all of that, is when my eldest daughter started getting into makeup, I started really paying attention to ingredients. So at the time, I was working behind the scene and I was using all the famous ones. I won't name them, but all the famous ones. I had them in my kit. And I started to pay attention to ingredients and started doing research. And I'm like, well, would I want my teen who's 13, 14 and loves makeup wearing this? We all know what's going on in the industry with with talc and the lawsuit and all of that. And so I look at ingredients, I started paying attention and reading, okay, what is the issue? Like, okay, what's the issue with talc? Well, where it's mined, it could be mined near some arsenic. There's some, so that's an issue. There could be some irritation. As we know, if it gets into the body, now it becomes a whole other problem. So all of our products, we don't use talc. We don't use mineral oil at all. Never have, from the beginning. So once I started realizing that I didn't want my daughters to wear this, then, okay, well, if it's not good enough for my kids, then should we really be using it? Should I really be using it on my clients?
Exactly.
And that's kind of where it started. So, and my daughters were the first ones to test it. So they get tested first. Trust me, we get tested first. We test it first, and then it goes out to the world. So if it passes us, then it can go out to the world. But that was really behind it. I did not want them putting on their skin those ingredients. So mineral oil and petroleum and all of those ingredients that I know, having a license in cosmetology and in aesthetics, what it does to the skin long term. So if you're doing it for one time, you're being filmed, okay, you're going to make sure you cleanse properly. But I watched being on the sets, they didn't know how to clean their skin properly. So you still have makeup because it's petroleum based. If you don't clean it properly, you still have the film on your skin blocking your pores. And you can't figure out when you can't get rid of this acne. Your skin can't breathe. It's an organ.
So did I hear you say she tried to throw me in the little receipts in there, y'all? Did y'all catch that? License what? Licensed cosmetologist and licensed what? Aesthetics?
Oh yeah. Licensed cosmetology, licensed in and aesthetics also.
Okay.
And advanced makeup artistry, certificates in advanced makeup artistry. In addition to my bachelor's.
Oh, so you're just not a YouTube makeup artist?
No. Do I have some training? Serious training, multiple years of training. So I actually did the makeup artistry training years and years ago. And while I was on set, there was a big push, I want to say early 2000s, about to, we want all makeup artists to be licensed. And I didn't have a license. I had a certificate. I didn't have a license. And back then I went to, it's Christine Valme is where I originally learned how to do basic makeup, advanced makeup artistry. That's where I took those original classes. And when that push came through, I was like, okay, well, let me go get a cosmetology license. And it kind of worked out because I was only able to do makeup when I was on set.
Exactly.
And they said, well, Minna, you could really, if you could do hair, then we could just pay you for both.
Yeah.
So I went and got the license to do makeup and hair. So I was doing makeup and hair on set. So I've never been the cosmetologist working in a salon.
Gotcha.
I have never worked in a salon. I've always done private, either on set, weddings, bridal, but I never was the person in the salon. I never had a chair.
So it's always been business based.
Yes.
That's why you got your credential.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So in the way in which we're navigating now, right? Tell us, and we've had to do a lot of virtual things. Tell me how you've had to adjust, or how you had to adjust virtually with your business, personally and professionally.
Okay. Well, personally, I mean, I think I'm going stir crazy. I'm kind of tired of being home. But from a business perspective, I've always been a little neurotic when it comes to makeup and testing. Remember, I didn't say this, there was a time I was a MAC artist, so I've had MAC under my belt. I was a brow diva for Damone Roberts. I've been around product, and I've always kind of freaked out when I was at the counter and I'm working, and I watch people walk over and they kind of, they take a product with their finger and I would just cringe. And I remember one time I worked for a company, it doesn't exist anymore, and where I learned one of the levels of custom blending. And no lie, she was demonstrating to a customer that you could use a product wet, right? And I swear to God, she put her finger in her mouth and dipped it on the eyeshadow and then put it on her hand. And I literally gasped.
I cannot.
I gasped. And she looked at me like, well, what's your problem? And I'm looking at...
That's saliva.
Yeah.
It does not belong to the human that you're putting it on.
Oh, gosh. Or you're being behind the counter and watching people do makeup and they blow on a person's face.
Wow.
And I, again, cringe. So for me, sanitation and all of that was a big deal. So when this hit, you know, I was already looking at how can I make things that are sample size, that are testers. I just took it to the next level.
Okay.
You know, so now I have, for the foundations, I have literally little teeny bottles. And I have a package called the Match Me Kit that has samples of those different foundations, little teeny individual sealed bottles that you can go ahead and purchase. And that way you can test it and you can know no one else has touched it.
Okay.
You know? And even when teaching, when I work with my customers, I work with clients, you know, even when the girls were little, like, don't you dare let somebody blow on your face.
Yeah.
If they blow on their brush to touch your face, they can't touch you. You know, but you'll see, you looking on YouTube, you'll see celebrity artists blow on that brush and then take that brush and go across the, and that would not, they would first, when I see that, as soon as I see that, I know you don't have any training. You don't have a license. You may be talented, and there's a lot of talent out there, but you would not pass a basic cosmetology test because sanitation is the largest section in the book. It's the first section and the largest.
So you're also teaching folks around makeup hygiene, right?
Oh gosh, yes.
So, which is very important, especially with the breakout.
Yes.
There has been all this conversation around wearing masks, right? And so, I have developed, and I didn't realize it, what is called maskne, which is mask acne. And let me tell you something, y'all. I don't know where this came from because it was not there. I'm 5'1", and so I've never had a whole bunch of acne. But right around this area, y'all can't see because I got on that good Zeni Beauty makeup. But right around this area is a situation. All right. So give us some insight, Minna, if you would, around how we can take care of our face when we take our makeup off, because it's great to put it on, but how do you take care of it when you take it off so that you don't have acne, you don't have any breakouts?
Right. Well, first of all, you know, you usually if you're having an issue with the mask and where it's hitting, you have to look at how often are you cleaning the mask. If you're not cleaning it for weeks, you know, like you have to remember, you got, you know, your skin, again, it's an organ, it breathes, so it gives a sebum
so what a mask for weeks, y'all. Don't wear it for weeks. You're gonna have mask.
Right.
I just want to put it out there that I have disposable masks, so that ain't my situation. But go ahead.
But yes, you want to be conscious of how you clean in that area. Toning, making sure you're using toner. Some people
is that important? Because some people like, oh, I just wash my face and I put moisture. Tell us about toning. Okay, why is that important?
Okay, first of all, cleansing is very important. Creamy cleansers. If you have acne, you can. What I personally do, and it sounds old school, I don't pay for expensive cleansers and toners. I use Noxzema to get all the makeup off. But you can't just stop with that because that has mineral oil in it. But it will take all the makeup and anything off. You have to go back. I go back with another another foaming cleanser to clean it again after I get the makeup off. So you definitely want to cleanse your skin. Olay has some really great cream cleansers. That you can get from the drugstore, from Walmart. L'Oreal has some. There are some great over-the-counter cream cleansers that work very, very well. Do that. And yes, toning. Toning is important because it takes off any residue. So skin grows like scales on a fish, like this. So when you cleanse, sometimes you get some of the, sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't. So when you coat and you tone, you're literally wiping off any loose dead skin cells, any residue of your cleanser, any makeup that was missed. Remember, because the makeup could get underneath the skin cells. So if you just cleanse on the top, let's say, especially if you're younger and the cells are tighter, so you got, you have something underneath there.
If your cells are tighter, if you're younger, okay, go ahead.
So you can get some residue underneath, but it didn't lift, so it's sitting there. and clogging the pore because the pore is underneath. So now you got clogged, you got the situation where you got makeup and you got sebum and you got dirt and it's underneath. And you're cleaning your face every day, but you didn't get underneath.
And that's how you get breakouts.
And that's what it's the clogging of those pores that contribute to breakouts. So it's important. So toning helps you're gonna lift and you're gonna go up and out.
So that's good. The direction in which
you're not wiping down.
Okay.
You're wiping up and out.
Okay.
And you will probably find that you start using toner, and I like Thayer's. Thayer's is great. No work for them, no plug, but I like them. And let's use it up and out. Use it every time after you cleanse your face, and it's a great prep for now you can go ahead and use your moisturizer, and other things will work better. But you definitely want to tone.
Gotcha. Okay. So tell us how you have been involved with in the past and maybe in the future with OutCT.
OutCT, OutCT is part of my mission. If inclusion means inclusion, and it's unfortunate in this day and age that has to be a mission. It should just be a given. But as we know, it's not a given. So being involved in OutCT, I have members of the family who are part of the LGBTQ community, and that's my way of supporting them.
I don't know who that is.
And that's my way of supporting them, but also it goes in line with the mission. We're talking this about including people.
Exactly.
And I over the years I've had many friends, at various stages, and I remember one that really reached that kind of speaks to me. And I had a friend of mine, a wonderful gay man, and he said to me years ago, he said, Minna, people don't realize that this is not a choice. He said that people say, it's a choice, it's a life choice. No, he goes, don't you realize if I had a choice, why would I choose to put myself in this situation? Why would I choose to be ostracized, to be a target? I wouldn't choose it. I'm this way because I can't help but be who I am. And he completely just changed my dynamic on looking at it. Because in my mind, grow up, that's a choice. You could just choose. Like, you could choose your socks. You just choose. And his statement stuck with me. And this was, 25 years ago he said this to me.
Wow.
And he said, Minna, life would be so much easier if I could just choose to not feel the way I feel. But I do. And that completely changed. And I realized, if as a black woman, I'm having challenges, I can't even imagine what if you had to add that layer on top of the struggle
of orientation or gender identity. Absolutely.
Yes, it's like mind blowing. So for me, it's important that this brand, as it grows, that I'm gonna pull. I'm not gonna pull trans people in because it's the trend, and I kind of see you see the in the commercials and stuff, and you can see it's like, oh, y'all had to do that because you had to do that.
It's just like Target in June, right? They have like the gay Dorito bag and all of that. So I know,
or the big models. All of a sudden now it's a big. Come on, you're doing.
Where are you at outside of June?
Exactly.
My pride is 365. Okay,
right.
365. I don't have a choice, like you said. Right. I can choose pepperoni on my pizza. I can choose who I love. Get into that. Get into that. This cisgender ally right here. Get into it.
Right. And that's exactly, and that's how I feel. So when you see on our site down the road, a transgender or whoever, because there'll be gay men and they might just be looking like their normal day, but they can still wear makeup.
Absolutely.
Or there might be trans women.
Yeah.
But it won't be because we gotta include it. It's because that's exactly how we feel, and this is part of who we are. Because now I want to appeal to you because I don't want to make you feel like I'm leaving you out, or I really want to get your money. No, I want you to be a part of this community. We're building a community. Exactly. So there's going to be a community of people, not just a trend.
And I love that because one of our values within OutCT is to build on community, right? And to provide education and resources. And so when we first was created, like one of the founding members created Pride simply to bring together people, right? In a space where they felt loved, supported, and affirmed. So I love the fact that that also is some of the same values that you have around Zeni Beauty.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is on the horizon for Zeni Beauty coming up? Like you got this nice little Christmas tree and things here, child. Y'all having a trunk show? What's going on?
I have to say that COVID has just given us an opportunity to really, really make some changes.
Okay.
And you'll see a lot more videos coming. I'm going to be teaching. Always in the past, because in this industry, it wasn't popular to be a woman of color and own a cosmetic company. Unless you were a celebrity, a model. I won't say the brands. Then it was like kind of sort of okay, but to really own a cosmetic company in this industry, in this country, and you're a black woman, yeah, it's becoming popular now.
But let's add another layer of that. And I don't mean to cut you off, Minna. A black woman of your skin hue.
Yes.
Say that part.
Yes. If I were lighter skin, like my daughters are light skinned, it might be different. But even then, there's behind the scenes in this industry. You can only get so far unless you join one of the other larger companies. You know who owns them. So, but to truly own it and control it, all of that, and be my shade of brown, yeah. So for many years, I chose not to. I didn't want to be the face of it. And I had people behind me going, no, you have to be. Like, you have to be. People need to see you. And it's become popular now. It's okay now.
Yeah.
On the surface.
Representation is important. The fact of the matter that a young black or brown, queer or straight or trans human can look at you and see that you own a makeup company as a woman of color makes them feel that their dreams are attainable. So I always say representation is important. So I am so glad that you are now becoming more forward-facing within the industry and recognizing that we need your representation. It is definitely necessary. So you said that you're doing some training, some teaching?
Yeah, we're doing some teaching. We have a lot more videos coming out. I'm going to be doing a lot more.
How can we find out about that? Where are you? Give me your website.
It's zenibeauty.com.
Okay.
And we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and YouTube. And it's a YouTube channel. We're just starting it out.
Okay.
A lot more things coming. One of the things we're going to be doing coming up on the 28th is we have a virtual vendor show.
Okay.
Which is what this is part of. Going to be part of that for Shop Black CT. On the 28th.
Shop Black CT.
We have that coming. And
what is that? Tell me a little bit about Shop Black CT and like what your role is going to be in that, if you could, so that our viewers can know and tune in.
It's on 12:45. It looks like it'll be my first time doing it, so don't quote me. Next year I'll be better versed. But it looks like for 5 minutes we're going to go from vendor to vendor for all those who are going to be participating in the vendor show.
Okay.
Zeni will be at 12:45 to 12:50.
Okay.
And I'll be talking about the products you see, a little bit about the history,
okay,
and kind of where we're going, and just kind of just exposing the business to that particular Black CT audience.
Wow. Okay. Is there like a special code that folks get?
Yep. Okay. Everyone will get 20% off anything on our website, and the code is shop, and it's actually on the website too. But it's on shopblackct.com website also.
Okay.
But the code is shop black 20.
Okay.
And that's 20%, and that's from the 28th through the end of the year.
Wow.
So that code is available. We're doing 15% off, and anyone who orders products from now through the end of the year, I'm throwing in an extra package of extra products for them.
Wow.
As a thank you for supporting small business and for supporting the business. So, we have that coming.
So you're doing like a giveaway. So what y'all are hearing is that you're going to get you some good makeup, but then you're going to get some other products for you to try. Where do they do that at? I don't know. Let me say that Black Girl Magic, y'all. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. So, tell me what is on the horizon going forward. Like, what do you want Zeni Beauty to do? Where do you see it? Where is the trajectory?
Well, my goal, and this is less than 5 years goal, is to open up a full-fledged lab here in Connecticut.
Okay.
A lot of what you see in the industry is shipped in from Asia.
Oh.
It's made in China.
Okay.
Or they use what's called white label. A white label is a cosmetic company that does private label, but it's their same one products, but you can put this brand's name on it.
Oh.
Or that brand, and you can kind of pick your colors, but it's their formula, their colors, and you're just kind of just putting your name on something that's pretty much.
You're not creating anything.
You're not creating anything. Very, very few.
Wow.
Companies that you see in this industry create their own products. They have it made in Asia, and even in Asia, literally, you don't go to the chemist in Asia and go, okay, well, I want this in the formula. No. They come to you with a chart. These are the colors that are available, and you pick. But you're not formulating. Sometimes you can adjust an ingredient. So if they promoting has, let's say, vitamin E, they'll squirt a little extra in there. But again, the formula is not yours. That's not yours.
Wow.
Because it would be extremely expensive. Crazy. It's tens of thousands of dollars to do a custom formulation. It's not cheap. So what you see out there really is pretty much pre-made.
Wow.
And so I kind of want to take what I know, and I want to open up a full-fledged lab. And one of the goals with that would be, to encourage women of color, and offer scholarships for them to go. I'd love to see female chemists. Most of them are white male. It's a male-dominated industry. I want to see some female chemists of color. I'd like to see more people of color. When you look at our history, I think sometimes I was going someplace and I saw a drug dealer. I hadn't seen one in so long, I didn't know. I was like, is that what it looks like? And I'm like, he's a chemist and he doesn't even know it. He's a chemist.
That's interesting.
He's a salesperson.
I say he's a street pharmacist.
Pharmacist.
But you're a street pharmacist.
Yes. But the reality is, the thing that we see is negative. That raw talent is something else, and I want to be behind the scenes to help foster
that up.
and say, okay, yes. You like mixing up crack in the garage. Well, let me help you. Let me help you mix up some
right here and be legitimate. Right. So that is definitely a lofty goal, and I don't at all think that you will not be able to achieve it. I know that you will, based on all of the things that you shared today. Man, I just want to thank you so much for supporting OutCT in the ways in which you do, and actually agreeing to be on our Who's in the Neighborhood. One more time, can you tell our viewers how they can get in contact with you on all of your social media platforms, and also what the code is, so that they can order all of the things, try to make them pretty.
Well, you can check our website, zenibeauty.com. We're on Instagram, excuse me, and it's Zeni Beauty Cosmetics on Instagram. Facebook, Zeni Beauty. YouTube, Zeni Beauty. And the code for Shop Black is ShopBlack20. There's a code on the website for 15% off now. And OutCT has a code also that's 20%. I think it's OutCT20, I believe.
Yes, I believe that you gave us that code when you were on our self-care panel, right, for our Pride Weeks. And it's still working.
That's still active. I will keep that code up for OutCT forever. I will never take that code down. I want to support.
This is what ally looks like.
So that's so definitely use the codes. And when I see those codes, I throw some extra. I see the code.
Okay.
So if I see the OutCT code, you get a little something extra.
All right, so make sure you use those codes, y'all.
Hi everyone, I'm Minna Murphy from Zeni Beauty. I want to take an opportunity to introduce you to some of the products that we have. We've got a lot more than this, but this gives you a good idea of what some of the products that we create at Zeni Beauty. We actually custom formulate every single thing that you see here. So nothing has been shipped in from China. This is not white label. This is actually every single product we've made ourselves in our privately owned lab. Everything also, when it comes to our foundations and our lipstick, they're all made to order. So we don't have anything sitting on a shelf. When you order it is when we make it for you. That way there's no waste. It's very important that we're environmentally conscious, that we don't waste product, because products actually only have a shelf life of 2 years. So if you think about something sitting on a shelf, after 2 years, you need to throw it out if it hasn't sold. The amount of waste that goes into a landfill from cosmetic products that have been pre-made and have to sit on a shelf and have to be thrown out. So we don't do that. We do everything we do is made to order. One of the things that we've just come out with, and you'll see a video very shortly on it, are our Match Me kits. This we came out with as a result of, we were working on it before COVID, but then COVID really made us take this to the next level. In this kit you have, it comes in 5 colors: light, medium, tan, dark, and deep. There are 4 foundation colors in each kit, and we have a video coming out that will show you how to use the kit in order to help find your perfect perfect foundation color. That's what these are for. And pretty much, as you can see, they're small bottles. It's enough for about 2 or 3 days worth of foundation once you know your color. But this is they come completely sealed, never used by anyone else, and that way you get a chance to find out how to actually test yourself, how to apply foundation, but how to actually color match yourself, and that's what these kits are called. Kits are for. We also have a program called the Perfect Pick. It's in the same category as the Match Me kits, and that's where we will work with you, and we will literally do a Zoom call with you. I have you send me pictures. I customize a kit for you, send you all the samples, and we go back and forth maybe 2 or 3 times, sometimes 4 times, until we actually have your perfect color. If for some reason I don't have it, then I will create the color for you, and then you have a custom match, a custom foundation, and with the Perfect Pick, you get a full bottle with that particular package. So just to let you know, that's what we have going on with the Perfect Pick. The way you can reach us is on our website, www.zenibeauty.com. Instagram is Zeni Beauty Cosmetics. If you have a question, something you want to know more about our products, you can always send me a DM on Instagram, and I will reach out to you directly. I'm not the business owner that you can't reach. Email me. You can feel free to email me. It's minna@zenibeauty.com. Our YouTube channel is Zeni Beauty, and Facebook channel is also Zeni Beauty. So reach out to us with questions, product information. You having issues with your skin, all of that, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you so much.
So there you have it, y'all. We just finished having a conversation with Minna Murphy of Zeni Beauty. We are so glad that you tuned in, and make sure that you tune in next month for episode 8 of Who's in the Neighborhood. Bye, y'all.